I got the Troy belt in here. I'm not really in the mood to work on anything lately, but this guy was dropped off for a gas leak, and I can kind of see that this carburetor has already been fiddled with. And the reason I say that is this bolt, typically from the factory, is at this position and not at this position. This bolt is a relief bolt for draining the gas off when you store this at the end of the season. So hopefully it's just a float ball gasket here. There's not too much else going on in here, but I'll find out here in a second. Looks a little goomy. And yeah, that won't hunt. So we'll clean that up, and he needs probably more than just a gasket there. So we'll pull the gasket. We'll replace. See if I got some replacements for this. I think I got some replacements in there for that, and be back in a minute. Look, after all that elbow grease, no, just kidding. I actually decided that it was easier to replace because, for whatever reason, that hole, even with a new gasket on the bottom of this, it still seemed like it was weeping and leaking out of here. So weird, but thankfully I had one laying around. So that's what it should look like. When you let them sit like this forever, that's a problem. So I had a new bolt as well. This is the old one. Again, probably would have sealed all right. Hopefully, I have a gasket for this. I keep meaning to order some, so I might end up having to order some. And I guess where we're at, let's look at the rest of this debacle, because it's been sitting for a long time. So the needle moves, needle comes out. Needle doesn't look terrible. Bottom of the emulsion tube looks a little gunky. Usually I can go ahead and free those up. So we'll let's pull the gasket. Let's do what we need to do with this, which is throw it in the garbage can. And this guy should fit perfectly. Yeah, we just need to find a gasket now that goes around the bottom of that. You can feel that there's no resistance on that gasket. So when you leave gas sit in these units for an extended period of time, this will happen. Inevitably, you'll develop a leak. You'll have rusty gas, I should say rusty parts inside their carburetor, rusty carburetor. It's unfortunate. Downside of owning equipment that is not coming out of there very easily. And of course, when you're looking for stuff, you can't find stuff. It's never where you want it to be. Here's my other pick. Try my other pick and see if we can pop that guy out of there. There we go. Yeah, and it's so when they get brittle like that, they're shot. So that's a goner. Let's pull out my bag of rubbers. bent my very special tool. That stinks. Wonder how I bent that. Let's see. Hopefully this guy fits up in here. The other thing too, when you leave these guys sit for a long period of time, the critters like to build nests in here. So, you know, you just kind of want to, because it's cold out, sometimes you got to stretch these a little bit. It's cold outside. So, if you're not going to use these, you want to make sure you sprinkle some deterrents on there for rodents, like cinnamon or cayenne pepper. Mice don't like strong scent, so it's easier to try to go ahead and thwart them from causing the damage than it is to deal with the damage. I know you probably can't see what I'm doing here, but I'm trying to gingerly fit this gasket into the groove in there. Usually easier if I have grease. So we'll get a little grease to tack it up in there. So I'm going to tack the outside of it. Sometimes it's easier to get this to stay in there. Messy, but even if you get a little grease inside the carburetor, it'll pass through. But you just want to make sure it's in there as best as possible, because when you put the float bowl on here, you got to be very careful not to twist the gasket up, because if you pinch the nut back down on it and flatten it out, it'll become a bigger problem. I need to stretch it just a little more. Cold weather makes these kind of a biscuit to work with. Grease it up. And with the float out of the way, you can kind of feel where it pushes in. And the rubber is just that they're using to produce these gaskets and stuff is getting worse. And I mean, in general, I feel like things are not that great with regards to products that are coming to us from anywhere. I have a feeling, and I'm not trying to be funny, and I really don't care, but I have a feeling that this unit was given to this gentleman or sat in a garage for a very long time, or a shed. Because the gas that was in there was definitely over 3 years. Anyway, let me pause this while I look for, after 20 minutes of looking for it. Yeah. Well, I'm surprised. Hopefully that went all the way through. I can't tell. I won't pull the emulsion tube though, because, or ventry, or whatever you want to call it, because that'll create a whole nother problem. So we're going to say hopefully this remediates this. I'll try to get some of the dirt off the, and even got some grime, you know, grime on the needle here. I hate to replace a carburetor if I never have to, you know. Some places that's the first thing they do. I would much rather have the OEM stuff. I'm sure it's all made in China anyway, but you know, you can go on Scamazon, I guess, and buy one for like 20 bucks with a filter, or who knows what I mean. I forget what comes in gaskets, and it's not a bad deal. But if you can, try to use what you got. And the other thing is, see how the chromium. Let's see if we can do this. So the chromium starts to lift off the needle. So you can't let the gas sit in there. The alcohol's caustic, and letting it sit that long is not good. We definitely know we had gas coming through because it was dripping and leaking. Hopefully the rest of the system isn't too badly botched up. Hate when it's cold out, and I do these sometimes on the field, and my fingers are so cold when I drop the needle, but it goes down inside these pieces and then makes me all angry. Oh. Yeah, even going up inside that was a little chunky. Get some of that extra rust out of there. I'm gonna try to run it for 15 or 20 minutes now. And highly recommend this halo. Hopefully I don't have to blow that tire on. Swear, moment of truth here. We'll put this down and see if this guy leaks. I put not so fresh gas in it, and yeah, normally I would recommend turning it around on the housing, but I'm limited for room here. Good there. And I'm going to assume there's enough gas in there to get. Okay, let's see. Okay. Looks like 25 to me, right? even know what we're looking at here. Sorry. Here's the old glow pole. Oh, babe. What the heck's going on with that? Well, I don't know. Stuff too, you know. Sometimes I just never know. Oh, definitely. Oh, what the heck? Somebody looks like somebody did overfill it. Maybe doesn't smell cooked. It looks clean. So let's move this party out of the way. Now let's take it out. Let's asphyxiating myself inside the garage here. Gas. It should even out as far as the governor surging like that. I have no doubts that it'll blow snow. That's not a problem. But you let these machines sit like that, and they don't like sitting too long. So if you're gonna dry storage it for an extended period of time, you can run the gas out of it or siphon the gas off. I'll put a link for the siphon that I use. I'll put a link for the halo and this, and most of your carburetors on your newer units are going to look like this. They're going to have a 10mm bolt here and a 10mm bolt here. The one with the Phillips head is the one you want to remove. Now, that's not saying that everyone, you just don't want to remove the center one. Unless you got another problem, you need to get in there and do some work. But this is the guy you'll pull to drain out the remaining gas. Some guys will be like, I run it empty. Yeah, that's fine and dandy, but if you look in there, and let's just see if we can, I can't do it while I'm in ultra something. Here we go. If you look in there, that's because the gas was sitting in there and someone said they ran it empty, and then the gas with the alcohol, it'll attract water as it separates, as it goes through phase separations. The gasoline will come to the bottom, the alcohol will come to the surface of the gas, exposes the air, sucks in all the moisture, because that's what alcohol is good at doing, sucking in moisture. And then as the temperatures change, the schmutz on the top, the new chemical on the top, will move down towards the bottom. The water will sink to the bottom of this, and then it'll etch its way in there and rot that thing out. And I know I probably said it more than once in here, but that is, in essence, how you clean out and take care of your unit. And a little bit of mechanical aptitude, and you'll be fine. So happy Wednesday. We're almost through this week.